Welcome back to Study Break, everyone. I am still Olivia Rose McCain, joined still by Lily Percifield, Campbell Duffy, Branden Hall, and Luke Godfrey. And
still sad.
Yeah, that was...
Still haven't recovered from that meaningful and touching death.
We have literally just finished playing Rat Chef. And yeah, what are everybody's initial thoughts?
Not at all what I expected.
Not at all, yeah.
Yeah.
I was expecting, like, really... It was still wholesome, but, like, I did not expect murder or any of us to die or, like...
Or drugging 50 food critics.
Yeah, yeah.
That one, I feel like murder, I, like, thought it. I was like, nobody will. Like, they're rats. They don't have, like, really any stats, you know? And then when it happened, I was like, okay, like, it was on, like... part of my radar, but then we were like, they probably have drugs here, right? I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Sure. But it was a great idea.
That is Brandon's specialty, is making all DMs think outside the box, for better or for worse.
It's because I'm bad at role-playing games.
No,
I'm trying to compliment you.
No, that was genius. I was like, of course they have drugs here.
I loved everybody's like little character. I was like, since I didn't have to make a rat, I was like, damn, I wonder how they're going to make all these rats so different. But I like that everybody, like, this is very much a game where just come in where your rat has, like, a little bit of a bit, and it works. Yeah. And then that'll guide you the rest of the game.
I'm so excited to see what Madeline says about...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh,
gosh.
Yeah.
I hope she's not, like, offended.
Yeah, they, like, sent me a, like, new updated version of this, like, with updated, I think, French. Yesterday. So
wow.
And yeah.
Do you think they'll be surprised that we committed murder?
Probably.
And also that we died.
Probably.
Yeah.
I feel like a rat dying is more on the table though.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I thought
y'all
Lucille
made that
was gonna die. I thought she was gonna kill you.
I did just squish me in her hand.
I was trying so hard. I was like, I didn't think y'all would actually ever get caught, which is so silly. It's based on rolls. Of course you might get caught. But then I was
like a 50-50 chance.
I know, and I was like, I'm gonna stall as long as I can, but I might have to kill you.
On that last roll, I knew that, like, I knew that you were gonna have to kill me.
Yeah, I was like, if this doesn't go well,
or like put me in a cage and like you have to come rescue me.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, we would have to really go off system. And
Lucille is such a like damsel in distress material, though.
It was perfect.
But I like that her character arc was learning how to not flee from danger.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Particularly using the word scatter, I think, was a good little
Yep.
rat touch.
Yeah.
Also, 10 out of 10 for all the rat puns. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, those were perfect.
Rat 1, when you said that, I was
Rat
like,
1
oh
was
my
perfect.
Oh, so good.
Who said that?
I think it was Lily.
Me.
That was Lily.
My original concept for Sawyer, the character I usually play in Gals and Goblins, like she just made puns all the time. She could like deal psychic damage from like doing really cheesy puns. Like she could like actually do damage to people.
Yeah.
And
That's
I kind
cool.
of it kind of like has, I don't know, it's phased out, but maybe I'll
They're
bring
called
it back.
cringe points, and they would either give everyone in the room psychic damage, or it would give her party like advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's
so
amazing.
awesome.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That was like part of the original concept of her character. Anyway.
I had this whole thing like for Tony where I was gonna have him be related to the black rats that brought the Black Plague to Europe.
Say what you said in his voice. It was so funny.
Oh, you know, I came up with a reason for why he would like mention it.
Oh.
And it was that he was worried that he got the whole kitchen. He's worried that it's genetic because, the Black Plague is my grandfather. And he's like, I'm worried that I got the whole kitchen staff sick, and now I'm worried that we're gonna kill everybody out there in the, yeah.
That would be such a good plot twist if like they had the Black Plague.
Yeah.
Like that was why they were all sick. That's so good.
That was actually one of my mini rats that I had built before narrowing it down to 0 and then 1.
To Bruce Mange.
Yeah, to Bruce Mange. I was gonna see if I could play a time traveling rat who was just trying to bring the Black Plague back, and he was like, "Fuck yeah, a kitchen! This is my chance."
That would be really perfect. Just sprinkle it on every dish. A little bit of.
I remember we were having that conversation. Yeah, we were talking about it, and then he was like, I think that might be too much. I don't know if they'd go for that. And then this session happened where drugs and murder were a part of it.
Yeah.
I was very willing, I was like, whatever rat you bring, can happen. Like this system is so like loose, which I think is the beauty of it. It's like bring something
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
crazy, and then it's like all you get to roll is for rat and chef. So like I don't know how much you can actually mess up.
We were such a
Well, it's
diverse
also-
group of rats.
Oh yeah.
We were like the
That,
college
and it's also
promotional
just, like-
video for
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's also a testament to how quick you were, Olivia. Like just on all of our bullshit, just being like, okay, yeah, this will work. We can roll with this. You rolled with all the punches very well, and I think that ended up being the crux of what made this such an awesome one shot.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I agree.
It's called improv classes, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Heck
definitely
yeah.
a lot of like, yes, you can murder her,
Sure.
and it's
Lot of
a
yes-anding.
horror movie cinematic shot.
Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I feel like I had some horror movie references in there. I'm a big horror movie fan, so like when y'all went murder,
yeah.
I was like, well, then it's gonna be horrifying because like sometimes rats are fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that we really got into the discrimination against rats.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god! And then Luke, when you had like actual rat facts, I was like,
Wait a minute.
did you like research?
I
Rats?
googled those on the spot because when we were talking about the puddle scene, I was gonna ask if the puddle just so happened to be from like a clogged sewer drain that Sigrid could like pop out of to save the day.
Oh.
That's
That would have been awesome.
That
But
would've been
no,
good.
I think it went perfectly how it happened.
Yeah, well, I was just like, I wanted like an intro because this is really like the GM guide in the actual like what you get for Rat Chef is pretty much like they tell you the menu and then it's like rats have to be involved in the creation. They gave me like problems I could roll for every course. And then like
Oh, very cool.
yeah, and then basically like the health inspector, it's like knows these three things, which is like it's the restaurant's closed for a private event, owner is cooking all the food, and the reason the staff got sick was from a bad shipment of food. Like that's what is their truth, and then that's like it. So I was like, I want y'all to like get an introduction to the mechanics and like the rat world before I just like throw you in the kitchen. So, and I was like, what's scary to rats? I feel like you always hear like drowned rat is a thing. So I was
Yeah.
like, water.
Yeah.
True.
And actually, if you hadn't have rolled well the second time, Brandon, it was gonna be like a horrifyingly
Oof.
deep like hole, and they were gonna have to figure out like how to get you
Oh
out.
my god.
Wait, speaking of what could have happened, what was, I'm assuming that you're not meant to kill the health inspector. Is it like but like in Ratatouille, it's like Ego, the food critic, you kind of like, he has a redemption arc, like you sway him to your side of like, oh, like this is a beautiful dish made by a rat.
Yeah.
But the health inspector, that doesn't have, like, what was the ending? Is there an ending written? Is there like, oh, like if the rats get caught, there's like a failed ending?
Yeah, so there's
Ooh,
no ending written. Like the last thing I have is like the stinginess of the health inspector is up to the GM, along with what constitutes a complete failure for the restaurant. If the players fail, the rats will be collected for extermination, so the stakes are very high. So basically the stakes that they gave me
So
was
that
like,
could have happened?
oh yeah,
They
that's
would
why
have collected us?
if you had been
Oh,
collected
gosh.
and then one of the others got like a picture taken or was grabbed too, I was gonna have to kill all of y'all.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Wait a
it
second.
was always life or death.
Yeah, but I wrote out potential endings, and I like, based on how I know Lillian Campbell, and then what I assumed from you two is I was like, I don't think there's a world where they try to get the health inspector on their side. So my like good
Wow.
case scenario was like, you guys just like basically like made fun of the health inspector and be like, nobody would believe you because we have such like
Yeah.
notoriety now.
Well, we were kind
Like,
of on the way to driving her to insanity too, with
Yeah.
Sigmund's
Yeah.
like creepy intimidation tactics.
But yeah, if you had tried, like that was in the back of my head, and I was like, okay, yeah, like you could have like been nice to the health inspector the whole time. Oops.
Wow.
Well.
But yeah, it was like best case scenario. You guys got the best case scenario ending because I thought.
Except that one of our number.
Well, that's why I did it because I was like, well, he died and
Died in
sacrificed
battle.
himself, so
Oh, jeez.
I think they deserve best case scenario. And like y'all's meals were like, I was kind of keeping track of them. Like you guys had pretty high like success on your meals and plating.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were a whole
Is a
experience.
profiterole is that a cream puff?
Basically, it's like a custard filled like a. It's like a.
Tony knew
Is
that.
it pat a shoe
I could
dough?
have made a
and
cannoli this whole time.
You could have.
You could have brought the cannoli. Oh, I wanted to know what did the critics say?
About what?
Oh yeah.
Did they say it was a
about the food.
life-changing experience at Sigmund's Onion? Do we have Michelin stars?
Oh yeah, Michelin stars, life-changing experience.
Yes.
They like also went like a lot of them turned into like rat activists and like really fought
Okay.
for you
Rat
guys.
activists.
Rat
Activists. Yeah.
really fought to change the thinking that rats were dirty and don't belong in the kitchen.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys kind of changed the world.
Yeah. And now we have a
Sweet.
whole
Wow.
army of
That's
rats
so beautiful.
hired at this restaurant.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ratatouille, eat your heart out. Okay,
Yeah.
we actually made
Yeah.
a change.
It's because Ratatouille didn't have enough murder in it, I think.
Yeah.
Nope,
Exactly.
nope. They just tied up their health inspectors
Okay.
and kidnapped them. They didn't take the next step that they needed to.
And
If
that's
Remy would have killed Ego,
and to make change, you have to make some big choices, you know?
That sequence in Ratatouille where his dad takes him to like the poison shop and he's like, rats, like humans have always hated us. That shit was terrifying.
It's so
Like,
scary.
as
Oh,
a
it was so
kid,
scary as
It
a
was
kid.
like, oh, like it was so unsettling.
But it's so
Yeah.
true.
No, it was like, it's a great, first of all, Ratatouille is a masterpiece. My mother-in-law,
Oh,
this is my favorite thing
magnum
that she's
opus.
ever said to me. She like has trouble sleeping at night. And one time, this was like, I don't know, I had not known her for very long at this point. And she was like, whenever I have trouble sleeping at night, I lay in bed and I play the Ratatouille movie in my head and fall asleep to it. Like she watches Ratatouille in her mind from memory to fall asleep.
that is awesome.
That
She
is
loves Ratatouille.
beautiful.
So I was,
Oh my gosh.
okay, you know, keyword was so excited for her to listen to this episode, but now that we killed the health inspector, I think that she will not. Now,
Maybe she'll like it. Maybe she'll be like, that's how Ratatouille should have been.
now I'm so nervous for her to. Well, she does kind of like true crime stuff, so maybe
It'll work.
maybe
And
she'll
she's
There we
like it.
go.
She's had so much time to think of how Ratatouille could be different, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
I
is the
guess.
what if of Ratatouille.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited to send her this and see what she thinks.
Yeah, I did not expect y'all to kill.
Oh man.
I did not. I was very intrigued by, because I added the mechanic of figuring out which ingredients went to where, which I'm kind of
Oh,
glad
that was
I
so
Oh,
much
I think
fun.
that was.
I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
for me, I was like, for me, if I was a player, that would be the most fun part because I like to cook, and so I would want to know all the ingredients.
Which even if like even with the stuff that we did know like Ratatouille and stuff where we didn't have to translate from French, it was
Yeah.
like, okay, how the hell do you make Ratatouille? I was just going off the dome with that.
That was so.
and somehow got a lot of it right.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guessed so much of it right. It was
I'm like,
impressive.
circular vegetables, what do we got?
yeah.
You got eggplant, which I was like, nobody's gonna guess eggplant because
when,
like
when you said eggplant, I was like, oh my god, I was so impressed.
Have you made this before?
Were you, Olivia? Were you surprised that I knew the first?
I was,
Dish.
but those are like I also knew that because that's why I gave the option of like, oh, do you want me to type it out in French? Because I was like, well, and Luke knew ham too in French, I think.
Oh, I know my ham. I know my ham.
Yeah, I was like, these words you would probably recognize most of them, like cheese, like fromage. I was like, you've
Yeah.
seen them before if you've ever
Yeah.
like most fancy restaurants put it in French. But I was really surprised when off the bat you were like, oh, that's ham and goat cheese, and I was like, did you?
I was like, yes, we got this in the bag.
Where did we come up with eggs? Where did
I
we
have
come
no
up with the
idea.
idea
It was
that
the,
there was the eggs?
The word that was like
it was the first one, prolu.
hello. I think
Prolu.
because egg is like
Oh.
oof.
Yeah.
So I just
Oh
misheard it.
yeah.
And in
That,
my
and I'm
head I
pretty sure you
associated
said it was
ham
a
and egg.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
And I'm
breakfast.
pretty sure you said you watched Mother eat it for
Yeah,
breakfast,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh yeah, eggs, duh.
Well, and then
Yeah.
it was
Eggs
also
and
like
ham, yeah.
sauce was in there, and there was like
Yeah.
eggs for the sauce. But I didn't want to be like no, like I was trying really hard to like not like give you everything.
that
It
was
was
one of the
funniest.
That
it
was great.
such a
Probably the
funny
funniest moment in the whole thing was
Yeah.
when you were like, what do
The
I have all these
eggs.
eggs for?
'Cause I was like, it's good to go, and you were like, what the fuck? And I was like,
That was so funny.
Covered in eggs.
5 broken eggs at your rat feet.
yeah, I really liked that. Like sometimes when you guys had asked to do something, and I'd be like, hang on, you're a rat. Like how does that work? Like when you were like, I'm gonna carry eggs, I was like, that doesn't work. Like, but it did.
It did.
I guess do we want to do on our study breaks? We give A pluses and flunks. So like, what was your favorite part? What?
5-star and 1-star.
Oh yeah,
you're
okay.
so
Let's give
smart.
5-star
Okay,
and
okay.
1-star.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and the flunks are like you could be like, oh, I wish I made this decision instead.
Mm-hmm.
You can.
You can flunk something that
Yeah,
happened.
or you can flunk somebody. I don't know. It's up to you.
Gotcha.
My 5-star is just the egg moment because I was
So
like
funny.
frustrating, but it was so funny. It was worth it. And then my 1-star is not sharing my plague backstory. I was sad I didn't share that one because it would have been funny.
I'm terrible at these.
So am I. Don't worry.
My 5-star was that Sigrid's character arc got to go full circle in
So good.
a way better
yeah.
fashion than I could have ever had imagined. I thought he was just gonna die, and then that was gonna be the end of the joke, and then y'all turned it into something so beautiful. I was like, why am I crying over a Viking rat? My 1-star, Branden, is that we didn't get to see Ratman come out in full costume regalia.
Yeah, that was gonna be my 1-star also.
That we never got
'Cause
to
he-
see Ratman.
The line got really blurred because I stopped. I had like
Yeah.
a different voice for each for like the
Yeah.
first 30 seconds. I was like, yeah, fuck that.
He just became Ratman. It's
Yeah.
all good.
I feel like there are so many things being thrown at you. I don't blame you. Like to like
Yeah.
come up with a
There
complex
was a
of like
lot, yeah.
like there's two different sides. I wouldn't be able to do it.
I tried. I'm gonna blame it on the mushrooms.
The bit,
Blame it on the mushrooms.
It was worth it for the bit at the beginning. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's all you needed.
Your
Yeah.
like intro.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, once your like everybody's intro was good, but when you did your intro, I was like, we're fine.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yep,
this is
yep.
gonna be a great time.
What was your 5-star?
Oof. It has to either be the whole Lucille and Bruce rolling the same thing all the time. It's like,
that
I was so
crazy.
connected. or honestly just the drugs. The whole
Yeah.
like there's
Yeah.
line cooks here. They definitely have drugs at their station.
Yeah.
Lucille was
My-
really the heart of this whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you. My oh, let's see. My 1-star. My 1-star was that Lucille didn't use. No. Oh my God, I know what my 1-star was. I feel like Lucille, should have had like a steamy rat makeout session with somebody. I don't know who. I like don't know who it would have been. Like one
I
of
was
the three of
sensing
you.
that tension. Lucille was flirting with everybody.
Yeah.
Always she blushes. It's like
Yeah.
oh my God.
Lucille had tension with everyone, and she like didn't have a steam out make-out session with like any of them. So that's my 1-star.
I always
R.I.P.
imagine
Stay
because she
tuned
doesn't
for
have
the
skin
sequel.
on her cheeks to blush with. I always imagine it was just her nose getting really pink.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cute.
So
cute.
I don't know. Lucille was a sexy rat. She should have
Next time.
She should have
killed.
smooched somebody.
Is there still that the rat like make your rat pit crew?
Like make your own rat. That's what we should have done before this. Are you
Yeah,
kidding
hold
me?
on. Okay.
Oh.
Well, we'll put them in the Discord.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm
make them
gonna
put
I'm
them in
gonna
the
see if I
Discord.
can send it to everyone, and then if it still exists, and then we can send them in the Discord.
Okay, that's genius.
Heck
And
yeah.
then my 5-star was like my 5-star. Well, I said earlier I loved Lucille's character arc, but my 5-star is that everybody like in our silly little rat characters had like good character development and like a beautiful character arc. So I say
Yeah.
5-star to everyone.
Yeah, that very much lines up with my 5-star, which I was just impressed at like how well y'all all worked together, because it's like we've all never played together before with this group, and I was like,
Yeah.
I know it's silly, and I was like, I don't know exactly how silly they get. I don't know how everybody was gonna just like jump into it, but I was so happy that everybody jived, and everybody was like, how can I help the other person that was getting into trouble, which
Yeah.
I think is kind of the beauty of Rat Chef, is I think if you're not helping each
Yeah.
other, it can get probably a little tough.
Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like a real French kitchen experience.
Yes, because
That's what it's
everybody
all
knows in
about.
the cooking world, everybody helps everybody.
You
It's
have to
not
use teamwork.
Everyone
Oh,
is
yeah.
secretly little rats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah, it's rats on there. Oh yeah, nobody did like a Gordon. That would be a good character for this, like a Gordon
Shit.
Ramsay.
Yeah.
A Gordon Ramsay? Damn it!
Oh,
What were we thinking?
next time.
Next time we gotta do a sequel at some point for
Rodent
sure.
Ramsay.
We gotta get Gordon Ramsay. Rodent Ramsay. That's even better. Actually, no. I take back my 1-star. My 1-star was that this made me incredibly hungry.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
about some goat cheese.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will say 5 stars to your like descriptions of food.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, because that's like
Oh,
not
yeah.
normal. Like you don't get practice doing that as a DM. So that was
Oh,
good.
yeah.
I just like
No.
food. So.
Yeah.
This
Uh,
might be extremely niche, and if it's too niche, just shut me up. But in Kingdom Hearts 3, there is like a mini game where you have to cook as Sora with Remy.
Oh.
What?
That was
Is
all.
there actually? That's
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, and like the menu is in French, and you click on it, and you make food that like gives you different buffs and stuff. But the whole
That's
time, all
awesome.
I could think was like those little mini games, which is just like move the joysticks now, and it's like crack an egg. All I could think about. So
I'm gonna have to
thank
find
you,
that.
Olivia.
You're welcome. I'm gonna find that gameplay on YouTube.
Olivia, you brought it to
Heck
life.
yeah.
Yeah.
if there is Kingdom Hearts 3 cooking gameplay on YouTube, I quit.
I'm sure there is, unfortunately.
I promise there's someone
Probably.
listening who was like, "Oh my god, that's like my
I
favorite."
thought that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. My 1 star, that's a little hard. I felt great about everything because, like, I mean, there wasn't much stake. It's not like this is connected to a big campaign. My 1 star is I didn't anticipate the rat puns. I'm not a pun maker typically, so I was like, damn, I should have written some for myself because
Yeah.
there's no way I'm coming up
You're
with them on
good.
the spot.
Well, you had to come up with so much on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did great.
But yeah, not enough rat
Fantastic
puns.
job.
There's my 1 star.
More
Thank
rat
you.
puns. Comment down below.
Comment your favorite rat pun.
Your favorite rat pun.
What rat pun did we miss? That
We'll
was
make
right
a
in front of
channel
our
in the
face?
Discord for rat
Rat
puns.
Here we go.
Great, that was super fun. If anybody,
Hey, do you know who my favorite Disney princess is? Rapunzel.
Ooh, Rat
That's good.
Punzel. Wow.
Oh,
God
that works on so many
damn.
levels.
That's 2 in 1.
that's it.
crazy.
Lily's off the show.
It's a time like this when Sawyer would do cringe damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Rat Chef was super fun. Again, it is by Madeline Mason, who is actually coming on the show later. We were going to link that. That'll be in the show notes. It will obviously be in the other show notes as well. But it's pay what you can. You can get it for however much you can pay, and it's a little PDF, and it's super fun. So if anybody at home is like, man, that sounds fun. I haven't played D&D yet. Maybe you should try Rat Chef first. Super easy. Just
Rat
tell your
Chef?
friends to make a rat.
Just like our ratatouille was the perfect gateway dish into drugs, Rat Chef is the perfect gateway TTRPG into the world of tabletop role-playing games.
Yes.
Correct.
I couldn't have put it better myself. And speaking of tabletop role-playing games, Branden and Luke, do you guys want to talk a little bit about the encounter table? That's how we know them.
Yeah, sure.
Gonna talk about it. What are y'all's experience with TTRPG and playing as a whole? Whatever you got.
Yeah. Well, I learned how to play D&D the wrong way, which I think is why I play TTRPGs the way that I do, which is incorrectly in my mind. Which, I mean, hey, kind of becomes your brand, I guess. I started in like air quotes started in high school. I was a band kid. Shocker, But me and some of the other people in the saxophone section, again, shocker. We had another, again, air quotes DM, and we played air quotes D&D because we didn't really do damage dice or anything other than a D20. And we would just roll, and like a 20 means like, yep, it happened, and a 1 is a nope. And the DM is just narrating and being like, sure, yeah, this kind of happens, or this kind of doesn't happen.
That's beautiful.
We played it every Friday before and after our games.
Wow.
And after that stopped, and then I found I followed Dungeons and Dragons on Instagram. I don't know why. I don't know what made my brain be like, yeah, they must be posting some riveting shit.
Oh yeah.
But one of the posts was like, what's your favorite D&D podcast? And I was like, why do I want to listen to a bunch of people talk about Dungeons and Dragons? That sounds horrific. And I saw a comment that was like, oh my God, they're like raving about Dungeons and Daddies.
Yeah.
And then all of the comments under that were like, fuck yeah, like, please don't learn how to play D&D from them. But yes, fuck yeah, I love them. And I was like, I'm going to learn how to play D&D from them. So I just binged all of it. I think they were on like episode 20 whenever I first started listening. But I think I've listened through to at least season 1 like 4 or 5 times
Oh
now.
my gosh.
Wow.
Then Luke and I were part of like a 3-year-long campaign, just like a home game. And then, COVID, world shut down. My job was making me fire a bunch of people because I was the floor manager of a medical marijuana distribution center. they were putting it on me to do like all the letting go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they were like, "Hey, just so you know, you've got about like a month left." And I was like, "Awesome!" And then I
Great.
called Luke on my lunch break, and I was like, "We're starting a podcast." I mean, obviously, like, the rest is history. but
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dungeons and Daddies was
I-
my
Too many
gateway
details.
into D&D podcasts too.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good.
It's
It's so good.
It's such a good gateway drug.
Yes, I agree.
A good D.
It really is.
Yeah.
I didn't get introduced to D&D until I started going to college. I met a buddy of mine who introduced it to me, and I instantly fell in love with it. I didn't know that there were D&D podcasts until I think I was talking to a random person on like Tinder. Don't judge me. And they brought up that they listened to the Adventure Zone. And I was like, oh, all right, I'll check this out. Oh, love them so much. They were my gateway. It was them and then Dungeons and Daddies. And then shortly after I got on this kick of D&D, we were doing a film project at the college that I was at where we needed to find a local artist and do a music video for them. Well, through a friend, we ended up meeting Branden, or aka Baron, that way.
At the time, yeah.
At the time, yeah, we ended up doing a music video for him, and that's how him and I met. We got coffee one day, started shooting the shit, realized we both liked Dungeons and Daddies, and then we became best friends. During the same time that Brandon was getting fired from his job, I was closing the gate on a job that I had at the time. So it just kind of worked out pretty well. Him and I have had kind of sort of thematically parallel lives for some time. We both lost our jobs at the same time. We both got part-time jobs. Why is my camera keep going in and out of focus? I'm sorry, it's very distracting. I know nobody else listening to this is going to be bothered by that. But yeah, we both got part-time jobs with our sisters for a short while to try and make ends meet, and then we both started the Encounter Table together. And like you said, the rest is history.
The Adventure Zone
slowly
was my
becoming our
gateway.
career.
Oh, high five, high five.
Yeah, the Adventure Zone is so good. Yeah.
That's
I love them
awesome.
so much.
I love hearing everybody, like all the TTRPG podcasts, like how it got started. And it's always like, I didn't know what Dungeons and Dragons was, then I played it.
Yeah.
And then I made a podcast. And it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah.
And then I made a podcast.
Yeah.
What is
Well,
your like elevator pitch for the Encounter Table? Like what?
Brandon, you got this.
How can you describe the Encounter Table?
Yeah, so the Encounter Table is a D&D 5th edition real play comedy podcast about 4 unfortunate teens kidnapped and taken by an evil, mysterious game shop owning wizard and thrown into his own game of Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
So it's kind of like Jumanji D&D.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say, just like Jumanji.
Yeah, I think our first episode's title is Jumanji and D, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
If I remember
Perfect.
right, I think it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I know I can speak for myself. I had a great time playing with you guys.
Yes.
I was super
Oh,
excited.
yeah.
Same.
Oh my gosh, I had so much fun. I was such a big fan of you guys before we even connected.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Thank
So
you.
it's truly an honor.
Same to you.
Yeah.
Same to you,
No,
seriously.
you guys are our first like guests that we planned and knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
Like we've had one from Tabletop News. It was very like we had a week and we were like, we don't know what we're doing. We don't even know how to hook up. We didn't even know how to hook up our board to Zoom.
Don't tell them we said
Oh,
that.
man.
Don't tell them we said that.
We want them to
prepared.
think that we're professional.
Top news, if you hear this, we were so prepared.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was like my first because I know like when we like met and talked about things, I was like, I want them on as guests, but we got to figure our shit out and know how to do that first. But I think it went really well. It's kind of our maiden voyage of
Me too.
Yeah.
how we handle guests, and I think we also got to discover a new TTRPG, which is a big goal for us here. We love D&D, but it's also like there's more out there. That's more
Oh
than
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
you don't have to sell 3 years of your life to play Rat Chef.
Yeah.
Not that you have to for D&D, but
Yeah. I am genuinely so glad to like shine light on Rat Chef.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
But yeah, it was so great having you guys. I hope you guys had fun. That's always our goal. If-
Oh, so much
We
fun.
really did.
Oh, okay.
Sweet. Do you guys want to? I know at the end of our other episode you plugged, but do you guys want to do a quick plug of all your other shows and
Sure.
projects, just for double exposure?
I went first last time. Luke, you go first this time.
Oh, okay. Like I said before, I'm on the Encounter Table. I also host another podcast with my partner Z. It's called Customer versus Service, where we try to find the most batshit crazy customer reviews that we can find and serve those people accordingly. I'm also working on another project with Brandon Z and a couple others called Medieval Midwest. It is a roleplay comedy horror podcast that takes place in the Monster of the Week system, where creatures of fantasy and magic are endangering a small Midwest town and the monster hunters who have stepped up to stop them.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean the first episode of that is actually on the Encounter Table's main RSS feed. So anybody
Yes.
who listens to the
Cool.
Encounter Table,
So go check that out.
yeah, I think people will really like it. Yeah, my name is Brandon. If that's your first time hearing that, sorry. Open your ears, dude. Okay. Yeah. You listening to this right now? Fucking listen up, okay? All right. I'm kidding. I love you. Mwah. I am on the Encounter Table, which we just spoke of briefly. And I am also on Don't Tap the Glass, which is a paranormal occult investigation and reporting podcast with me, Luke, and his sister Shelby. And I also am a player in Medieval Midwest. I play Malachi, which is he's like a modern metalhead Viking. He's a fella. That's what he is. Yeah, that's all for me.
Perfect. Well, I think we're going to wrap up this study break. It was super fun playing with you guys. Go listen to everything they just said, or we don't love you anymore. Oh, sorry. I take it back, maybe.
No, I second that. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Right
right.
on.
Great. Well, that wraps up the study break. It was great to have y'all. And see all the show notes for links to everything. If you liked any of those things we said, we'll give you a link to click. And bye.
Kisses.
Bye.